The Albanese government is feeling the heat on cost of living, with the opposition leader demanding action on power prices. Let's bring in Trudy McIntosh live in Canberra. Trudy, the Prime Minister addressed his caucus on this today. What was the message?
Anthony Albanese told Labor MPs this morning, Ash, that there will be difficult decisions that need to be made in the upcoming October budget. He didn't elaborate any more on exactly what those difficult decisions will need to be. He also has taken a swipe at the opposition leader Peter Dutton in this address to Labor MPs. He says Mr Dutton made himself irrelevant by not attending the Jobs and Skills Summit at the end of last week. On to the more immediate issues, though. It's the cost of living crisis that's going to continue to dog the Albanese government. We're expecting rates to go up this afternoon. That's going to hit households. There's also expected to be that no relief in sight when it comes to petrol prices. In fact, they'll go up at the end of the month when the fuel excise expires, and also pain when it comes to power and energy bills. The Prime Minister pressed on what more can be done immediately.
Do you recognise that Australians might be expecting your government to do more in the immediate term to help them get through this cost of living crisis, to bring down that severe stress?
And that's why we'll be introducing legislation this fortnight on cost of living measures, including for cheaper medicines and cheaper childcare. That's why we put forward a submission to the Fair Work Commission to increase the wages of people who are on the minimum wage. We understand the pressures that people are under, and we want to undertake measures that alleviate cost of living pressures.
Those first two measures that the Prime Minister listed there don't actually help in the immediate term, though, when it comes to Labor's childcare changes. They don't kick in until July 1 next year. And the cheaper medicines promise, that also doesn't kick in until January the 1st. The opposition leader Peter Dutton was also at that event in Parliament this morning. He is really zeroing in on Labor's promise during the campaign to reduce power bills by $275 by 2025. Mr Dutton believes that the government is crab walking away from this promise. We have heard from the Energy Minister Chris Bowen last hour, though. He says they stand by that promise.
Well, the government could live up to its election promise. People voted for this government on the basis that they would reduce their power prices by $275. That was the solemn commitment the Prime Minister gave to the Australian public. And he spoke about it, as I say, he and the Labor Party on 97 occasions before the election. He's not mentioned the figure once since that time. Not once.
They don't mention the 2025 bit. But of course it's gotten harder, yes, because of Angus Taylor's dishonesty, but the commitment is even more important. I'm standing by the modelling, Tom, I'm saying people can judge us on our performance, and we won't be hiding the real power prices like Angus Taylor did.
So the argument from Chris Bowen there, Ash, is that the opposition's getting ahead of their skis a little bit on this one, that the promise is not until 2025. So Labor has a few years to run before it can be accused of breaking that energy promise, even though prices in the immediate term have already gone up.